Castlevania Aria of Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance is the first Castlevania game to be set in the future. It's the year 2035 and Japan is seeing the first solar eclipse in the new millennia. To observe this solar eclipse, the young transfer student Soma Cruz and his childhood friend Mina Hakuba travel to the Hakuba Shrine. But things don't go as expected. Upon entering the shrine, both are transferred to a mysterious castle. Attacked by spooky monsters, they get help by a stranger called Genja Arikado. Genja tells Soma that he possesses a mysterious power, called the Power of Dominance, which allows him to absorb the souls of monsters to use their abilities himself. Soma now has to reach the throne room of the castle to find a way out of it. On his way there, he also bumps into the soldier Hammer, who promptly sets up shop in the castle, and he also meets a woman called Yoko Balnards and a guy named Graham Jones. And there is also the amnesiac Mr. J. These three tell Soma that this castle is the lair of the evil douche Dracula and that they are indeed trapped in the solar eclipse. Yeah, they are trapped in the solar eclipse. Don't ask me how that is supposed to work. It's a Castlevania game, everything is possible. And that should be enough information without spoiling you too much. So now that we got the main gist of the story out of the way, let's take a look at the gameplay, shall we? Aria of Sorrow was the first Castlevania game, publication history-wise, which used the so-called tactical soul system. Soma can collect and use different souls to attack enemies or advance through the game. What I really like about this mechanic is that it forces the player to strategize his attacks and to think about the souls he has to use. The player will also be able to level up and to collect new armor and weapons. The usual Castlevania stuff. But this time, you can find a gun. I don't know why, but it feels a little bit weird to wield a gun in a Castlevania game. The music and stage designs are great as always, but the enemy design feels a little bit uninspired. But the game introduces Castlevania's fiercest enemies yet. Maids. There isn't much I can tell you about the bosses in the game, except that they are well designed as well. We meet our friend Legion again, you know, that giant ball made of corpses. This headhunter boss is fun, since he changes through 3 different attack patterns and also changes visually. There is that giant Balor asshole, and of course, my personal stalker, the Grim fucking Reaper. The puzzles in the game are fun and not too difficult to solve, which leaves you with a warm and nice feeling inside. Good, so that should cover the gameplay and technical aspects, which means I have to give you yet another spoiler warning. During the game you will learn that there was an old prophecy saying that Dracula would resurrect again in the year 1999 to bring death and destruction to the world once again. And would you believe it? Dracula actually returned in the year 1999, which was coincidentally around the same time the last solar eclipse happened. The then wielder of the vampire killer whip, Julius Belmont, fought the Douche of Darkness and sealed his power and Castlevania in the darkness of the solar eclipse. You may already guessed it, but the amnesiac Mr. J is actually Julius Belmont. We also learned that Graham wants to use the power of the castle to become Dracula, since he thinks that he is the Dark Lord reincarnate. Oh, and did I mention that Genja guy is actually Alucard? But here is the game's big twist. Graham isn't the reincarnation of Dracula, Soma is. That's right, this game lets you play as the Douche of Darkness. Graham and Soma throw down in the throne room, but Soma easily beats his ass and claims the dark powers of Dracula for himself. It would end here, wouldn't it be for the good ending of the game? Soma is able to withstand the corruption that comes with Dracula's powers, and now he has to travel to the so-called Chaos Realm to fight the Chaos, to cleanse the castle and himself from its corruption. And I'm not gonna lie, this boss battle is the hardest in the whole franchise. At least for me. Destroying the Chaos frees Soma from its corruption, Castlevania is destroyed for good, and everything is lovely once again. Beating the game unlocks a new Game Plus mode, and a mode which allows you to play the game as Julius Belmont. And here is my rating. Overall, I can only agree with the positive reviews which have already been made about this game. The Souls mechanic is fun and challenging at the same time and works well with the Castlevania setting. But it's the story that sold me on this. Soma is a relatable character trying to take fate into his own hands. Only thing that bothers me is that you can see the big twist from a mile away. Another thing I'm not excited about is the way you achieve the good ending of the game. I have nothing against having the player collect secret items to unlock a different ending, but in Aria of Sorrow's case, you have to collect 3 distinctive souls. The only problem is, you will have to grind 2 of them, and it can take hours to get them. To me, that just seems like a cheap way to expand the playtime without offering actual content. Wouldn't it be for that, I would have given this game a 9 out of 10, but instead I give Castlevania Aria of Sorrows 8 out of 10 killer maids.